Hello, this is Patrick from XPression. I'd like to show you some of the drawing tool features in XPression Maps 3.2 and higher. Here I am working in XPression Maps Designer, and I have a map of Italy here, and this is being done using the OpenStreetMaps styles. I believe this is style A, and you can see that I have information layers turned on, and the way I can tell that by looking, there's a lot of labels up here, and also this red button. If I hit the show information layers, all that information goes away. So I'm going to hit it again, turn it back on. And what I would tell people, really think of the show information layers as hints to where things are on a map so that you don't have to try and guess and place them and wonder where things really are. Now, that was a 3.0 feature, but here's some features that are pretty cool that came to us in version 3.2. Let's say that I have Rome here as an information layer, and I actually want that, and I want Italy on my map. So I'm going to click on Italy, double clicking, and you can see that turns into a drawing tool. And the way I can tell is there's now bounding boxes around it and some icons. I'm also going to do the same thing with Rome. Now, I'm going to turn off show information layers, and I can see I've got those two pieces. I'm going to start with Italy. I'm going to come over to my drawing tools in the OSM style toolbox, or the drawing toolbox I should say, and I'm going to change that label because right now Italy just as text doesn't do it for me. And let's say that my map style isn't properly defined, but I should probably be using this state label, which is black text on a white box. I'm going to click on it and drag it onto my map, and I'm holding down the left mouse button, and I'm going to let go of it once I'm on top of the word Italy. And look what happens. It transfers the text there, and it basically makes this into a new text object with that same information. I'm going to do the same thing for Rome. I'm going to select Rome. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to choose that I want to have one of these pullouts here that's got a pointer on it. So I'm going to choose pointer version. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click and drag and let go when I'm on top of Rome, and then I'm going to move it around so that I have the pointer coming out of it. Now, I want to talk about the pieces that are under it because that's a really cool thing for the substitution. Again, a drawing tool, you can change the same drawing tool type with another one. So I can do text to text, I can do icon to icon. That'll let me replace it. But let's talk about some of these icons underneath. I have the text label for Rome highlighted. You'll notice there's an eyeball icon here. We're going to start from the right, and when I click on the eyeball icon, guess what? It hides it, and it puts a big X across there so that I know about it. I'm going to click on it again, and it comes back. So that's a show and a hide, and that's tied to a couple things here. If I go over to the drawing editor on the left side here, and I find my zoom levels, that might also change it. So for example, my zoom level right now is 31. So if I set this to 35, guess what? I'm not at 35, so it doesn't show up yet. And you can see I've got the hide icon. If I zoom into my map just ever so slightly to past 35, it'll pop back on the screen. The other thing to remember is also you can set your transition types or my effects types. I'm going to say a dissolve. So what you're going to notice when I get to a certain point, it's going to dissolve on. It's like a 2, 3, 4 frame dissolve. You'll see it, but that'll fade on. And again, that's also part of the property here, but I want you to understand that show hide icon could be affected by the effect type that you're using. The next one is facing. So if I tell the system that I want it to front face, in other words, face the camera all the time, that's the default structure. So what will happen if I hold down the control key on my keyboard and then I use the right mouse button on my mouse and hold it and click it, and then I push the mouse forward, what I want you to notice is the labels are really more like signs that somebody's holding up. If I click that front face icon again, it comes back onto the map like a sticker. So again, I'm going to hold the control key and then the right mouse click and hold it, and I drag it back up. You can see that the icon is facing away from me. You'll also notice in the icon or the drawing editor toolbox under miscellaneous, there's something here called front face, and that is interacting with this icon here. The next piece is auto scale. And what I want you to notice is if I zoom in and out, I'm going to turn off this zoom level here, set it to 0. If I zoom in and out, the labels stay basically the same size as what I put on there. And that's sometimes what you want because you don't want things to appear until a certain point and you want it to stay in the same position on the map. But if I zoom in and then I click on this box here, which is auto scale, you can see that the little arrows inside will indicate auto scale. If they're clicking again, it's off. So what I'm doing here, if I zoom out on my map, that label stays the same size. The system will automatically scale it for me to keep it the right size, so that as I zoom in and out, you can see Italy isn't done that way. Italy is just on the map. Auto scale for Rome is turned on. So that's the three main tools for the drawing editor functions that you have icons for underneath all of your drawing tools.